I do want to say this. I do think that this conversation we're having right now is probably the most important one. Like, this is probably the most important conversation as it relates to entertainment, art, culture, because it's tied directly to that. It's tied directly to that feeling we all have of like, damn, why don't they make it like they used to? You know, oh goddamn, because can I find any sense out here? You know, all the boomer, you know, whatever. But no, it's not just that. Like that isn't the only reflection. It's also young people now more than ever getting all of their nutrition, as you put it, from the fucking past. You know, they're feeling they're feeling a faux nostalgia from early 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, you know, quote unquote city pop and all of this stuff.
Some of y'all are not supposed to be nostalgic yet. Like,
right.
For the love of God.
Right.
You're 14.
Right. You should be in real time experiencing
there should be
fucking
shit
amazing.
Now you're hype about.
Right. See, and that's what I'm saying. It's yeah, and it intersects at the cultural, the structural, the economic. Like, it's not just one thing, you know. And like the thing that probably irritates me the most is when I do see people talking about this kind of stuff. It's all about the fucking hamster wheel. It's all about how you can be the exception. The game is the game. There's nothing you can do but try and be the exception in the game. It's like, why can't we just let go of the fucking game and just be bold? And this, look, to be real, this doesn't even, like, as I'm saying this, I know who really my target audience is. I know I'm not really talking to most artists and creatives, because most of them, it's like they'll like the sentiment, but they'll go, good for you, man. You know, I'm going to go and get my Grammy, and I'm going to go and get my whatever. I'm really talking to a specific type of artist and creative who is not too dissimilar from where we've been. They have a certain degree of access, they have a certain degree of experience, and they have a certain degree of knowledge about how the entertainment industry actually works right now. And so they understand how fucking dumb it is and how whack it is and how there's no hopeful, bright future in that path. And I feel like if enough of those people like that lie at that intersection can actually connect and fucking put in the work, like, this is where the divide can begin, where we can begin to then carve out this entirely different, sure, it'll be underground and it'll feel more DIY for us on the back end, but oh my God, I personally feel like everyone is just like itching, like the waters will overflow. Like, people will just flood into whatever this is, you know, subculturally that we're talking about. I think Jaded and what we're doing with 400 million, it could just be one part of whatever that is, you know? Right. And I think money would be there too. I think money would be there to start up a lot of the stuff that we're talking about from. Maybe they've been in the business for a long time and they agree with what we're fucking saying about how we already have some of these people in our corner. It's like the more minds though, like, that are out here that we haven't connected with yet, the more who sink in with us on this type shit. I can just see it. I can so clearly see people being like, did you just say the Oscars? Who fucking gives a shit about the Oscars? That's whack as fuck.
Go ahead. I was going to say something to that. But
I was going to say, you reminded me of the second point I was going to make earlier, which is I saw a comedian who I really like, and we've talked about offering a $100 social media masterclass on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was just like, in terms of like people getting stuck in that mindset
I think
of
I know who this is.
Yeah, it's like,
are they perhaps on stage from time to time?
Every now and then, here and there.
I love him, but he's clearly grinding.
Yeah, it's like I love him. That's why I don't want to say his name. I was just like when you talk about people stuck in that mindset, like you just gotta grind, you just gotta put your time in, all this shit, and now we've got
and the
people
person
like,
you're talking about grinded very hard.
Long.
Yeah,
a long time.
Of course.
Way longer than necessary. By the way.
Right.
Like,
it's like, if anybody has the expertise, sure, but like, it's just we're at a point where now, you know, when you talk about the fucking social capital versus real capital, it's like now we got social media speculators like doing all like watching the markets and all this shit. Like it's not like let's just fucking make shit that's good, you know,
and make
it's
infrastructure
like,
and distribution
to support that.
To support that.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think it is a very I think the ultimate scope of it. There's many people that will eventually, once it's more mature, latch on to something like this. But I think right now, people that are willing to have resigned from the logic of the entertainment industry enough to actually adopt now, early adopters of the idea. I think it is quite a few people. It's not a lot of people because it is very hard, because it's like, I mean, I just like when the Grammys announces like what bullshit they picked and people are like literally outraged. I'm like, you're talking about the fucking Grammys. Are we fucking 13?
2010.
Right.
Like, are we 13? Who the fuck cares? What the hell does that mean? Right. I don't give a shit.
And it blows my mind to still see artists out there.
How would you even be mad?
Yeah.
How would you even be mad about this?
Right.
It's the Grammys. And I know it's like this thing where it's like, I have a parasocial relationship with my favorite pop star and they got screwed and we need to fight for them and this isn't right. And it's like, it's like, but dude, your favorite pop star is a fucking illusion. They're a brand, they're a product. Like, yes, they as a person are a person, but like, do you not understand the fucking massive amount of money capital and like mechanisms behind all this? Like, Lil Nas X is like a relatable, funny guy, but like there's fucking warships of power behind him, pushing him forward in the industry. The money he's making, like it's ridiculous. Travis Scott, like he's going to go on a fucking world tour next year. Yeah. It's going to be fucking massive. It's like he's a whole company. You know what I mean? It's like all these people are corporations. These people are corporations.
Yeah.
Like, and stop personalizing them.
Yeah. And it's like, you talk about like this democratization of entertainment, quote unquote, with TikTok, social media, all this stuff. Just like watching what the algorithm actually boosts and supports, it's almost like they're just trying to grab anybody else who's willing to be put in that same position and be a sort of like a buffer between normal people and this fucking wealthy class. You know what I'm saying? It's like
an ambassador on behalf of the ruling class.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in the same way that the middle class was kind of manufactured into being that group. Now we have middle class people with the access and the free time to like put work into all these art forms so they can elevate themselves to that.
Right.
And now you have all this access for people who, like I said, have no intention of being entertainers, but they get platformed because they just happen to do something funny, you know, and they get to this point where they have no opinions. They have no real desire to do things any differently because they don't really have any interest in being a part of this ecosystem in the first place. And so they have no reason to really push back against what they may or may not realize it really is. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the classic, you know, like understanding of like, you know, that's why artists get labeled, you know, for the most part, you know, petty bourgeois or whatever. And it's also related to my aspirations point from earlier. It's like, if you're fucking looking up there, the thing I think that itches me about that is that so many of those same artists, like they admire the ones who were pioneers, that were subversive, that really didn't even give a fuck about these awards, like to one degree or another, or so many of whom didn't ever win any of them, even, you know? And it's like, I don't know, it just feels sad and pitiful at a certain level. It's like,
it's a choice. It's them being like, yo, I love everything he did, man. Couldn't be me, but I love it. You know, it's the same shit.
It's delusional on multiple layers. I'm not even going to get into, like odds and, the odds of you winning an award or whatever. Who gives a fuck? Like, yeah, if you want to have hope for that, be my guest. But it's like, for that to be like, is that it? Like, that's your fucking, like, what's the point? Like, what's the ultimate
what do you
point?
actually get?
What is the ultimate
I'm
point?
also sorry, but like a Grammy now doesn't mean as much as a Grammy in the 80s. It just literally doesn't.
Yeah.
You won a Grammy in 2022.
Yeah,
like,
from a business standpoint.
Macklemore won a fucking
and
Grammy.
Also in a cultural resonance standpoint.
That too. Yeah.
Like, people used to tune in to the Grammys. It was a whole night, and it was a big deal. And like, the album of the year is a big deal. And now it's just like, might as well be like the VMAs. Like, it's the same shit.
Right.